of history's embrace. Captain's quarters sets the pace with Captain Mayhem at the helm. A voyage of knowledge, a story to round. Captain's quarters weekly delight, where history's treasures take flight. Led by Mayhem, Longwood, and Joe, they explore the past, row by row. Navigator Longwood charts the course, guiding listeners to knowledge.
Hey! It is the last Monday in October, only a few days till Halloween, and cheers to everyone. We're going to talk about Spooktacular in a few minutes. We finished it up last night, and I know Davey is dead tired, and so am I. A lot of work was put into it. We'll talk about it, though. We welcome those that are aboard with us right now. I see Captain Smoo from Quebec, Canada. Eh? And I see Zachary Harker from Michigan. Aye. So it's good to have at least two people to have some fun with and talk about what's going on. And as always, how do you find our show? You have to touch that QR code right there. Go to YouTube, see Captain's Quarters Podcast, and watch our show. Follow us, like us, and subscribe to us. We want you to do all three. The like is pretty cool. The subscribe is important. Well, following us would be very important because you may find out about all the new stuff we're planning for 2025. So do us a favor, do us the honor of being a part of our podcast crew. Thank you very much. And as always, we start our show with a little bit of honor, created by our good sponsors, the Riker Family Reenactors. They do British, they do Spanish, they do colonial, they do Ren Fair, and they do pirate. So they are our sponsors, and we're glad to have them around. I just see that Will the Historian from Alabama has signed in, Kara Creamer from St. Augustine, Florida, and Ransom Mayhem from Panama City Beach. So we're in several different points of the world. Davey, how many 8 bells do we have tonight?
10.
Oh, well, let's see what we got. Let's start with Philip Chapman Leach, an American musician and founding member of the Grateful Dead, with whom he played bass guitar throughout their 30-year career. In 1994, he was inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame as a member of the Grateful Dead. In 2020, Rolling Stone ranked him as the 11th greatest bass player. He was 64 years old. Wow. Jerry Taylor, an American television scriptwriter and producer who wrote many episodes of the Star Trek The Next Generation and Star Trek Voyager. Taylor wrote scripts for television series like Little House on the Prairie and The Incredible Hulk, then served as a producer and director on Quincy M.E. and Jake and the Fat Man. She was 86 years old. John Allen Jones, an American singer and actor. He was primarily a straight pop singer, even when he recorded contemporary material, whose foray into jazz were mostly of the big band swing music variety. He won 2 Grammy Awards and received 5 nominations for Grammys. Notably, he sang the opening theme song for the television series The Love Boat. In 1989, Jones received a star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame. In 2003, a Golden Palm Star on the Palm Springs, California Walk of Stars was dedicated to Jones. He was 86 years old. Elizabeth Francis was an American supercentenarian who was the oldest living person in the United States from the death of Edie Cesarelli on February 22nd, 2024, until her own death on October 22nd, 2024. She was 115 years and 89 days. Wow. Alan Sachs, an American executive producer, most well known as producer and co-creator of the television series Welcome Back, Kotter. He managed the band Unlocking the Truth. Alan Sachs produced a string of films for the Disney Channel, starting with Smart House in 1999. He followed it up with the Emmy Award-winning The Color of Friendship in 2000. He was 81 years old. Leon N. Cooper was an American physicist and Nobel Prize laureate who, with John Bardeen and John Robert Schaefer, developed the BCS theory of superconductivity. His name is also associated with the Cooper pair, the BCM theory of synaptic plasticity. He shared Sheldon Cooper's, his character, that's a good misprint, my apologies. His character, Sheldon Cooper, featured in the CBS comedy The Big Bang Theory, is named in part after Leon Cooper. He was 94. Oh, I see where it is. The character, Sheldon Cooper from The Big Bang Theory, is named in part after Leon Cooper, who was 94 years old. David Dominic Harris, an American television and film actor, most notable for his portrayal of Cochise, a young gang member in the 1979 film The Warriors. He appeared as a supporting actor in a number of films and television series and commonly played police officers and military personnel. He was 75 years old. I just saw a whole bunch of things on television dedicated to The Warriors, so it must be some kind of an anniversary. Mimi Hines was the Canadian actress, singer, and comedian best known for her appearances on The Ed Sullivan Show, The Tonight Show, and her work on Broadway. She succeeded Barbra Streisand in the original production of Funny Girl. She was 91 years old. Paul Andrews, better known by his stage name as Paul Di'Anno, an English heavy metal singer who was the lead vocal for Iron Maiden from 78 to 81. In his post-Maiden career, Di'Anno issued numerous albums over the years as both a solo artist and a member of the bands such as Gog Magog, Di'Anno's Battlezone, Killers, Rockefellers, and Warhorse. He was 66 years old. Grizzly 399 was a grizzly bear living in the Grand Teton National Park and Bridger Teton National Forest in Wyoming, United States. She was followed by as many as 40 wildlife photographers, and millions of tourists came to the greater Yellowstone ecosystem to see her and other grizzly bears. They are officially Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram accounts. There are officially Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram accounts for Grizzly 399. She was 28 years old. And that's it. So I get to raise my glass and say a salute to all of those, including the bear. And we thank you very much. The bear actually brings to thought of mind about a bear my uncle had up in New Hampshire. They had a bear in captivity and that bear lived to be 38 years old. That is the oldest bear in captivity. Will the historian, warriors say, come out and play. I see Sky Jockey has come in, and I see Ryan from down south there near Orlando has come in, and Nightingale in Florida has come in. Raise your glass. We give honor. We ask for 8 bells. If any of you are curious, yes, I am drinking rum. I have begun enjoying the Kraken Golden line. Golden rum, not dark rum, but golden rum. It's very good. And that was a gift from the distributor here. And I have another bottle. He gave me 2 bottles to celebrate our spooktacular. I'm holding 1 bottle for the crew. On that note, we like to take it up a notch with Joke of the Week with Mini Mayhem. I'm sure he's sitting in the wings somewhere, right, Davey?
Aye.
We'll bring him in.
Ahoy, mates! Mini Mayhem here with Joke of the Week, sponsored by Salt City Comics. Why didn't the pirate skeleton like Halloween candy? Think about it, and I'll give you the answer at the end of the show.
Have anything to do with a sweet tooth? I don't know. We'll have to see that one. And, of course, after that joke, we have to go back to a bit of seriousness. How about a quote of the week, sponsored by Spyglass Travel? And if you want a great tour of St. Augustine, a walking tour of St. Augustine, why, you need to see my friends over at Spyglass Travel, Kevin and Angie, who run the whole program. They do a wonderful, wonderful tour. And believe it or not only do you get some great history, you will actually get a good cardio workout because it's about an hour, 2 or more. So bring us on for the quote of the week, Mr. Davey. Don't worry when you are not recognized, but strive to be worthy of recognition. Oh, I like that. That's good. All right. Wow. Good one. I like that one, Davey. Abraham Lincoln is always a good one to bring in quotes. And of course, National Day of. There's only 4, unless I missed something, Davey.
No, 4.
4. Very good. A couple of them are very important. So let's start off with National Birthday and Events Day. Founder of this is Remington Arms. I never get that first name right. Elifhath, never mind. And Anna Elizabeth Dickinson, abolitionist, women's rights advocate, and writer who is considered the Joan of Arc of her time. Eli Whitney applies for a patent for his cotton gin, and Michael Faraday demonstrates his electrical generator invention. So we celebrate founder of Remington Arms, abolitionist Eli Whitney, and Michael Faraday. Very good, Davey.
There was more, but I couldn't fit.
Yeah, I read it too, and I thought I would just do these. That's good. First Responders Day, ladies and gentlemen. We should honor them on all days, but especially on October 28th. Set aside National Responders Day to honor the men and women who act quickly when an emergency is at hand. First responders dedicate their lives to save lives. They are the people who run toward a crisis while the rest of us and the rest of the world flee away. That's a good one. This next one is just as good. National Internal Medicine Day. National Internal Medicine Day recognizes the impact of approximately 300,000 internal medicine physicians on October 28th. Internal medicine physicians, also known as internists, are the cornerstone of comprehensive health care. They are experts in complexity who see every connection in the adult human body. And the last one, National Chocolate Day, which probably means if you eat too much, you're going to need National Responders Day. On October 28th, recognized as one of the world's favorite tastes. While many specific chocolate-related holidays exist throughout the year, National Chocolate Day celebrates all things chocolate. We were giving away a lot of chocolate over the weekend at Spooktacular, by the way. So it does lead us to the question of the week. And here's my question of the week. And I didn't give it to Davey, so you won't see it plastered on the screen. That's my bad. Both Davey and I are wore out from a very long weekend. But the question of the week is this. What's your favorite way to eat chocolate? I'll give you an example of how I like it. I love a cold glass of milk and a chocolate bar. I think that is just, I love that. That's how I like to eat my chocolate. A cold glass of milk and a chocolate bar. Unfortunately, I've gotten in the habit often lately of having that be my go-to snack before breakfast or before bedtime, which means that that's probably not good. But except if I'm getting ready to play the jolly fat guy, I guess it works out well. So there you have it. Aye. And of course, it is time for This Week in Nautical History. Davey, who do we have there? Ancient City Sirens? No, that was question of the week. It is Florida Water Tours. This Week in Nautical History, Florida Water Tours. You'd think after all this time I'd have all this memorized. So go ahead, Davey. Give us This Week in Nautical History.
Oh, yes. And I must apologize for the speaker. Usually it's myself that's doing it, but being as I was up early at 5:30 in the morning, but as I was doing some of this stuff, I must have fallen asleep and Minnie Mayhem at some point took over. So I apologize, but he's the one that's narrating this. Sorry.
Okay, very good.
Welcome to This Week in Nautical History, sponsored by our friends at Florida Water Tours. Experience the Intercoastal Waterway at its finest, featuring picture-perfect attractions.
We begin this week in nautical history in the year 1492. Christopher Columbus sights Cuba and claims it for Spain under the name Juana. 1502. Vasco da Gama returns to Calicut, India for the second time. 1579. Francis Drake arrives at Ternate in the East Indies and makes a trade treaty with the Sultan of Ternate, buys a cargo of cloves. 1772, Captain James Cook arrives with the ship HMS Resolution in Cape Town, South Africa. 1814, first steam-powered warship, Dimologos, is launched in New York for the U.S. Navy. 1856, a British fleet bombards Canton. 1861, Battle of Port Royal fought in Port Royal Sound, South Carolina begins Union victory, U.S. Civil War. 1914, Turkish warships storm Black Sea. 1919, British Admiral David Beatty becomes first Sea Lord. 1940, Empress of Britain sunk by a German U-boat 2 days after it was bombed off the west coast of Ireland, with a loss of 49 lives, largest Allied ship sunk in World War II. 1941, Japanese Naval Staff Officer Suzuki and Mahajima arrive at Pearl Harbor. 1943, German submarine U-220 sunk by U.S. aircraft in the Atlantic. And finally, in 1991, American commercial fishing vessel Andrea Gale and a crew of 6 lost at sea near Sable Island in North Atlantic Ocean. Story becomes basis for book and film The Perfect Storm. And that was This Week in Nautical History.
Very good. It's always good to have Mini Mayhem step in and help us out a bit here and there. So we always afterwards, we like to talk about some of the things that are going on, past, present, and or future. So past, the St. Augustine Swashbucklers just finished last night 3 nights of their spooktacular. Now, it took them a long time to build it, starting last Sunday, 2 Sundays ago, about 4.5 to 6 hours a night, up until Thursday night. Then Friday and Saturday was live performances. So 3 hours on Friday, 3 hours on Sunday, and 2 hours plus on Sunday night. So it was a busy weekend. And as you can see, we had some great sponsors. Pop that back up there real quick, Davey. Our major sponsors were Reliant Dry Ice. We had dry ice machines for some of our smoke machines. Also, Marco's Pizza. They gave pizza to everybody that came through. Everybody got a free slice of pizza. And, of course, the Colonial Quarter where we hold it in, and Dick's Wings and Grill. And look at all those other sponsors. Those are our scene sponsors. Every one of those sponsors made a donation just to be a part of the scenes. And you can see them all without me having to list them all out. Each one of them, when they made their donation, their logo was put on a sign and placed in the scene. So all of those people got to have their names in the scene. And then this whole poster you see here was the exit and the entrance thank you banner that was seen on a lit sign, both at the entrance and the exit to Spooktacular. So they got their logos everywhere. And of course, in some of our print material also. So there you have it. Davey, I bet you have a video.
I do.
All right. So let's see some pictures and some fun from our Spooktacular 2024. Good job, Davey. I like the music you picked out for that one. Very good. I appreciate it. I see the captain of ACP is on board with us. And Will the historian says he remembers when I first started doing it in our backyard, the Spooktacular. Do you remember the picture I have of you as a little soldier when we lived out in Nevada? I have to dig. I should have dug that up. I'll dig it up for next week if I can remember. So we had a great time. We probably had right about 275 guests, give or take, maybe 300. And all the money raised will be going to Alia's Acres and Inc., the two charities that we support the most here. So, yes, Will, you played Rambo. That's right. All right. So, a couple of other things. One for Spooktacular, we had a family pack of tickets, 4 tickets given to us by the Alligator Farm. And we had people sign their name on a ticket and put them in here. Now, the family 4-pack of tickets is listed right here. And this gift will go to one of the children. And since I had nothing to do with this at all, we thought we would just go ahead and pull the ticket right here on the show, hoping that that would be as open and bona fide as possible. So we have our Halloween bag here. We have quite a few tickets in there. And just to make sure you understand that we do have tickets in here, there are tickets. And I'm going to draw one. One ticket pulled out. There we go. There's the ticket. And let's see what we have here. Man, I can barely see. Let me find a light so I can see what I'm doing here. This ticket is going to go to the family of Rachel Fisher. We will call her either later on tonight or first thing in the morning and tell her that she has won the tickets to go to the Alligator Farm. Family pack of 4. I'll place it right there. There it is, ladies and gentlemen. And we thank them for being at the show. We got a lot of great comments. We had a lot of fun. And we've already begun planning 2025. Some new ideas, some new things. You never know what we'll come up with. So put it on your calendar. It happens to be 24, 25, and 26 next year, I believe. So put it on your calendar because we have something very, very, very special possibly planned for the Friday night event. The Friday night of Spooktacular may be adults only. Put that in your calendar and we'll keep you informed. But we have some other things coming up. Ladies and gentlemen, on the 9th and 10th, the Seawolves of down in Flagler County, they have their Red Rum Murder Mystery. Yes, the Red Rum Murder Mystery Dinner Show fundraiser. And it is on the 9th and the 10th. So it's 2 nights. You can see the show. Dinner is part of the ticket. Davey, do we have a way for people to get a hold of them? Or shall we, next week, we'll make sure we put it on there? I think I had something and I don't think I sent it over to you. So my brain is befuddled today. Let me see here. That's it right there. You can go to the Facebook events page. Davey, I think, is there a way I can put it on the screen? Anywhere? Maybe not. It's not even letting me copy and cut and paste. It's not letting me. Ladies and gentlemen, we will post something to our Facebook page, and you can go and look for Red Rum Murder Mysteries, and we will have something posted along our Facebook page so you can go and get tickets. I do not know what their ticket sales are like right now, but join us. I personally will be at the Friday night show. So come out and hang out with me, have a rum, and watch the Red Rum Murder Mysteries. Then on the 11th, is a showing of Time Will Tell, a movie written and produced and co-wrote or set up by Miss Vesta of our own group here. This is her fourth movie. Davey, what do we have for that? Do we have anything?
Mm-hmm.
You're accused of the crime of witchcraft and hereby sentenced to hang until dead.
Who speaks to me?
The Witchfinder General and his nefarious partner are killing our kind and countless others. But if you die, then our line will cease to be. Use your power to come to Bellhaven.
How am I to do this?
Seek the Black Raven.
It is imperative that I get to Bellhaven. I need to stop two terrible men.
The devil's mark! Clearly the sign of a witch. She's a witch, and she's bewitched you.
On this day and in this hour, give us all the magic power.
You're running out of time, Miss Ward.
The difference between medicine and poison is the dosage, you see.
You must avenge my sister's death.
You have my word as a witch.
Maybe it's time for a new adventure.
Very good, Davey. Very good. So on the 11th, we're having a showing of that entire movie. And there is a way for you to make a $10 donation and have a ticket. There are only 117 tickets available. And I believe from conversations, they may be halfway done. All the money, and it's a $10 donation, all the money goes to Elias Acres because they help in support of the movie. And so they're getting the money. We're also showing two other movies. Davey, do you know what else we're showing?
I believe we're showing her first movie.
Yes.
The movie before this one.
Yes.
And also, I believe we're going to be showing the movie that I did.
Musical, right?
Yep.
Okay. There'll also be some raffling going on. Miss Vesta has told me she's bought a very expensive, nice bottle of rum to auction off. So we'll see how that is. And if you see the movie, in the movie, I magically produce a locket. That locket from the movie will be available if anybody would like to own it as it for a donation to the cause. There'll be many other things happening, so we hope that you will come and join us. And you can get all the information by following what we do, and we will have a great, wonderful write-up for the whole thing for next week's show. In fact, we'll probably give it even more time just to make sure people are a part of it. So there you go. On that note, we only have one other thing to talk about, and that's Blackbeard's Ball. Ancient City Privateers does a ball every year, Blackbeard's Ball. It is on the 15th of November. And if you want to go, you must go to their Facebook page there and get all the information. You can also go to Eventbrite and look up Blackbeard's Ball presented by the Ancient City Privateers. And the money they raise goes to their charity. And I could be wrong, but I believe the captain is here, so he can correct me if I'm wrong. But I believe their money goes to Pie in the Sky, a food bank charity organization. If I'm wrong on that, please correct me quickly. But I believe that's what it goes to. And their event is on November 15th. I and my wife will be attending. There's your notice, Mr. Captain, that we will be attending on that 15th and enjoying the camaraderie and the company of everybody involved. So we look forward to being a part of that also. So there's some of the events going on. As I always say, if you've got an event, if you're a pirate crew and you have an event, send us a message. The captain says I am correct. So there you have it. So Pie in the Sky is a food bank charity organization that I believe, so he can tell me if I'm correct again. I'm trying to do this from memory since I didn't take any notes. I believe that they help the elderly and veterans to have food delivered to them to their homes. So that's a good one. And I believe the reason I'm so into this one is because it does help veterans. And being one myself, I like to help others because one day I'll be in the position that I'll be asking for help also. So there you have it. It is a wonderful event, and Blackbeard's Ball has been going on for several years now. So here in St. Augustine, you can't swing a dead cat without finding a pirate event to hang out at or attend, or just rub elbows with pirates no matter where you're at. So come on out. I'll be there on the 15th. Also correct, they are a wonderful, the captain has said, I'm correct there too. So obviously my mind is not as feeble as I thought it was. So Ancient City Sirens will be performing. That's good. I did know that, but it's good that you remind me. Thank you, Nightingale. Ancient City Sirens will be performing. And, well, hey, maybe they'll have some good raffles too. I know there'll be some good drink. So come out and join me if you want. I would love to have drinks with a few of you. So come on out. That is November 15th. And I believe at that point right there, Davey, after November 15th, I am going to be very, very busy. I do not have any days off from the 22nd of November to the 24th of December. Not one day off, I believe. So it's going to be a busy season this year, but we'll see how it goes. So there you have it. Seawolf's event on the 9th and the 10th, a murder mystery, a dinner show. Blackbeard's Ball by Ancient City Privateers. Time Will Tell movie debut by Vesta and her crew. And, well, then we roll into the holidays. So, plenty of things to do. I hope you'll join us. On that, since we have no guest tonight, we were going to have the St. Johns County Sheriff Department come out and tell us about one of their programs, but they also just finished a haunted house, so everybody's a bit tuckered. So, we will have them very soon. For now, though, This Week in History, sponsored by Dick's Wings. If you'd like to have a good lunch special, I just had their hamburger lunch special last week. Number one, can't get a better burger anywhere else in St. Augustine, especially for the price. I can't tell you how good it was. So, well, I can, but you'll have to go down and find out for yourself. So, Davey, give us This Week in History.
Welcome to This Week in History, sponsored by our good friends at Dick's Wings Bar and Grill. Wings, salads, wraps, quesadillas, and more. No matter what your taste buds crave, they've got you covered.
We begin this week in history in the year 1765. Stamp Act goes into effect in British colonies. 1800, John Adams becomes the first U.S. president to live in the White House. 1831, Michael Faraday demonstrated his dynamo invention, an electrical generator. 1856, French magician Eugene Robert Houdin performs for Algerian marabouts in Algeria to convince them that French magic is the stronger. 1900, first U.S. automobile show opens at Madison Square Garden, New York City. 1936, FDR rededicates Statue of Liberty on its 50th anniversary. 1938, a radio broadcast of H.G. Wells' The War of the Worlds, narrated by Orson Welles, allegedly causes a mass panic. 1939, Warner Brothers releases gangster film The Roaring Twenties, directed by Raoul Walsh, starring James Cagney and Humphrey Bogart. 1940, One Night in the Tropics, first film for Abbott and Costello, premieres in Patterson, New Jersey. 1952, Clarence Birdseye sells first frozen peas. 1971, Eisenhower dollar put into circulation. 1977, U.S. President Jimmy Carter raises the minimum wage from $2.30 to $3.35 an hour, effective from January 1st, 1981. 1983, U.S. President Ronald Reagan signs bill establishing Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. holiday. And finally, In 2021, the 36 Rock and Roll Hall of Fame inductees: Foo Fighters, The Go-Go's, Jay-Z, Carole King, Todd Rundgren, Tina Turner, Kraftwerk, Gil Scott-Heron, Charlie Patton, LL Cool J, Billy Preston, Randy Rhoads, and Clarence Abbott. And that was This Week in History.
Very good, Davey. Very good. 2 points in there in your history. Robert Houdin, the French magician, that is where Harry Houdini got his name from. Harry Houdini's real name was Eric Weiss, and when he started his career as a magician, he took the name Houdin, added an I to it, and it became Houdini. And that's how Eric Weiss became known as the Great Harry Houdini. What was the other one that you had on there? That reminded? Oh, yes. The War of the Worlds radio broadcast. It truly did cause panic. And it was one of the first things that Orson Welles created that brought him such great fame. But it also created something else. It created the laws that would govern how radio programs could be done after that. So with everything good, there comes bad. But there you have it. Good ones, Davey. I like them when you come up with ones that have something to do with my life in the entertainment world also. So before I go to the captain's desk, there was something else I wanted to show or say, and now I can't remember what it was. Oh, I know what it was. I wanted to go to the comments because we got a lot of comments from people talking about the ways they like chocolate. So I'm going back to the very beginning real quick to see who actually put in what they liked about chocolate. And let's see. Got to move down just a little bit further. Come on. I'm still technologically challenged here at times. Frozen chocolate. That's a good one. Frozen chocolate. I like a real dark chocolate bar with almonds or toffee. That's a good one. As a chip in a cookie. That's a good one. Dark chocolate bar from the fridge. Yes. I love a good s'mores. S'mores to you too. Very good. So we got some good answers to that one. I like that. And Captain Smoo out in Quebec, he thinks we gave away a nice prize. Yes, the Alligator Farm gave us a nice prize to give away, and it is worthy of a family to go and have fun. I like Reese's peanut butter cups. Yep, that's my wife, by the way, and she's watching from another room. Any kind of milk chocolate with and without nuts, and Trouble-Rones. Those are good too. I like those also. So we got some good answers to our question tonight. Thank you very much for participating. But it is now time for the captain's desk. I was just waiting to see if Davey would put up the picture. All right, ladies and gentlemen, as you know, I like to talk about things, ideas, thoughts, reflections, words, advice, opinions. I probably have to add those words down the road. But I thought maybe I would do something that is appropriate for what's happening right now and right away. Now, pardon me while I turn on a light so I can see exactly what I'm doing over here. There we go. So today was the day I and my wife exercised our right and our privilege to vote. It is not only a right and a privilege, but should also be considered a duty of every citizen of the United States of America. It is a chance to have your voice heard as part of the populace of the country. Often people say, I'm not going to vote. It won't matter. Or I don't like the choices, so I'm not going to vote because it won't matter. Or the one I really hate, it's a choice of the lesser of two evils. That one gets me because of all the rhetoric we find out on social media. It gives people the lame excuse that no one is worthy or worthy for their vote, and so they just won't go vote. Just this past weekend, someone posted on social media something about Nazis and evil, and tons of people made comments on it. And the person that created the comment then tried to profess that their point of their post was not a general post directed at anybody in particular and not about anybody in general, when it actually quite obviously was, and they were just stirring the pot on purpose. And that's one of the sad behaviors, especially in this election year. Several reasons one should vote or consider the importance of voting. Actively voting protects your voter rights. When eligible voters express their or exercise their vote, it defines the voice of a nation. Your vote itself is important to the outcome. If voters feel like their voices are not being heard or being shunted down and democracy is threatened, the voting population can use their votes to make their opinions heard. Another reason, your daily life and your family's future are terribly impacted by voting. Our collective votes will always impact our home life, our communities, and our social circles and beyond. By voting and being civically engaged in our communities, we can make a profound difference to create permanent results. Another way, one vote can decide it all. A singular vote may not be crucial, but in reality, one vote can change the entire outcome. It has been proven to happen before, from presidential elections to the House of Representatives, or every vote in the county or the city you live in. Another reason, decide on how your money is spent. Paying for taxes is a mandatory process now. Everyone has the right to voice their opinion on what should be done with the money, with all that money that the state, the local, and the federal levels are voting, and is best way to declare how it should be spent. There were several items on the ballot today that gave people in both St. Johns County and Florida the ability to control how their taxes can be or should be spent. My final reason that citizens should vote, and this is personal, and if you don't like it, I understand, but I firmly believe this. If you don't vote and exercise your vote to change things, good or bad, then in my humblest opinions, if you don't vote, you don't have a chair at the table of the conversation. And in other words, if your choice, say for the president, doesn't win and you didn't vote, you have no right to gripe about it. Making choices on who you vote for or what amendments or referendums you vote for can become very, very important. What has bothered me about this election, both locally and nationally, is there's been an overabundance of flyers clogging my mailbox that are truly far from being honest when attempting to sway the votes in their favor. This is not just local, but goes all the way up to the presidential campaigns. The powers that be truly know that many people vote with their heart and not with their brain. So they will cherry pick points to highlight and points to hide. I, for one, find this to be deceitful at best. I truly wish that people would read all the do's and don'ts of a law that might be passed. Weigh the entire law in your thoughts, or our government knows that people will see a point in the law they agree with and fully ignore the other points they don't. And they could very well make it a dangerous law in the long run. Case in point, and this is personal, when the Obama healthcare laws were passed and put into place, the first thing that told me that it was kind of strange was that Nancy Pelosi is quoted as saying we must vote it in and then we can see what is in it for the citizens. That should tell you something. But here's another point, and that is the very essence of how the politicians think of people. From personal experience, we tried to be good citizens, but soon discovered that women were required to have natal and pregnancy issues covered in their policy by law. Sounds good, right? Sure, let's cover it all. Except for one thing. If you were a woman that can't conceive due to age or health, you were still required to have it. You were still required to pay for it. Didn't matter, you still had to pay for it in any way, shape, or form, but don't get me started on such things. That diverts from my point. One other point. I am concerned with candidates that want to talk about what candidates don't do. Don't tell me what the other person didn't do right or can't do right. I probably already know that. Tell me what you're going to do right to fix things. All I want to know is what you're doing. I don't care about the other candidates. Educate yourself on the full spectrum of candidates, the issues you're voting on. The winning or the losing of any candidate or any issue will affect you whether you vote or not. You are still going to have to deal with it whether you voice your opinion or not. So don't take the word of others, post on social media and Facebook. Don't listen to the hate, the vitriol, idiocy that's going on. Find out for yourself. Do your research. Vote. It's your right. It's your privilege. And most especially, it's your responsibility as a citizen of the United States. For if you want change, you can't sit on your arse and hope it happens. You must stand up and make it happen. And that's how I feel about voting. There are other things I think about, but we'll leave it at that for now because I don't like to go too long. But please, this is an important vote this year. Very important. From the president on down. Go exercise your rights, your privilege, and your responsibility. Enough said. And to prove it, I got my sticker. Davey, do I have that little thing that you can pop up? There it is. I voted today. So should you. Thank you very much. So, I don't have a guest on deck poster, and I don't think Mandy was able to do anything because we're still unclear on a few guests that have not been solidified. So we'll leave it at that and have something for you on Monday. I did want to see, I saw a few people that were popping things up, so I wanted to see what they were popping up as I was talking on the voting. Voting is an important right that I teach my students. The school has let me put on a mock election on election day. That is well worthy of school training for sure. How about this one? We are turning a whole area of the school into a polling place. They will vote on the actual candidates. They have to do research assignment on the candidates this week to prepare. Again, research. And Nightingale says, Will, the historian years ago, our homeschooling group had the kids run their campaigns and made their speeches to convince they should be voted for. The St. Augustine mayor attended. Very cool. And Will, the historian, also says the students will get an authentic voting experience. May even have journalists there to interview the students. Well said. And Captain and Nightingale says, well said, Captain. Thank you very much. I appreciate that. Voting is important. I'll tell you another reason why it's important. We'll just extend this for a few more minutes. It's very important because I and several people I know, many people I know, served in your militaries here to protect your freedom for your rights to do certain things, and voting is one of them. Free speech is another one. But the hatred that's coming from people that say, well, as long as your free speech doesn't hurt me, words don't hurt, ladies and gentlemen. They might incite, but they don't hurt. I happen to be following along with many, many comedians who are finally kicking back and saying, stop it. Humor is the last bastion of defense we have against stupidity. Find a funny spot and enjoy yourselves. There were a lot of people at the voting station today. I was very happy to see so many. We'll see what the end result is next week. So whichever candidate wins, that's what we have. Then we have to deal with it. If your candidate doesn't win, then guess what? Get more people to vote next time. That's how it works, ladies and gentlemen. Voting is the way we change and create change in this country. All right. Sky Jockey says, Had to vote by absentee since I'm heading. Very good. Yep. And if you don't know this, because my wife is going to Arizona tomorrow, she was afraid she would miss voting, so she applied for a vote by mail, which came to us last week. But since we figured out we could go vote, she took that with her today, turned it in. They said they would destroy it. Doesn't have her signature on it in any way, shape, or form. And then she was allowed to vote. And speaking of signatures, I do want to point this out. The people where we were voting who were watching everything, I have a problem writing right now with my right hand because of some issues, health issues. I had to try 3 different times to get my signature to match my driver's license. The guy was pretty adamant about making sure it matched. So I appreciate their attention to detail on this, because there is going to be a whole lot of finger pointing by the end of next week. So get out there and vote. Make it so everybody has fingers to point everywhere. It's your right, it's your privilege, it's your responsibility. And we'll stop on that. How about a reveal of the joke of the week by Minnie Mayhem?
Okay, it's time for the answer to the joke of the week. Why didn't the pirate skeleton like Halloween candy? The answer is because he didn't have the stomach for it.
Okay. Yeah, I can see that. Very good. All right. Very good. So we always like to thank everybody, especially our sponsors and our helpers and you. So we have a few videos. Davey, let's start with the first one.
The Captain's Quarters podcast is indeed a ship sailing the seas of the world, always in search of history, knowledge, and adventure. It takes a crew to run a ship, so we take this opportunity to thank those who help keep this ship afloat.
The casting crew: Captain William Mayhem, Navigator Davy Longwood, Gunner Hellfire Henley, Cartographer Mandy Joe, the Powder Monkey, and Juan Cam.
Helping others gives a crew purpose. Our treasured charities that we support: Inc., investing in kids; the Humane Society of St. Johns County; Alia's Acres, a no-kill animal rescue zone; and the Cadets of the St. Johns County Fire Department. The 4 major charities that we support, but there's always room for more.
You too can be part of the crew and support the show in many ways. Go to Patreon. A small monthly contribution as Powder Monkey or First Mate memberships, or a single contribution. PayPal or Venmo. Go to YouTube, hit the like and follow buttons to join our ranks and support the show. It does take a crew. Thank you.
We thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen, for being a part of the show. We always do. We like to. And of course, we do have another video that thanks our sponsors.
Our sponsors are the power behind the wheel that drives this ship, Captain's Quarters podcast. Our major sponsor is the St. Augustine Pirate and Treasure Museum, 850 artifacts on pirate treasures and history.
Marco's Pizza. If you want a good pizza, that is the place to go.
Dick's Wings and Grill. Great wings, but just wonderful lunch specials throughout the week.
And Ancient City Sirens, led by Miss Gina and the wonderful dancers.
And if you want a great walking tour of the oldest city in the nation, Spyglass Travel will do.
And the wonderful talent at Rikers Reenactors.
And a great view of St. Augustine can be seen from the Matanzas River, with Florida Water Tours providing wonderful trips upon the water. These are our sponsors, and we thank them wholeheartedly and graciously.
Good job, Davey. Good job. Show our platforms.
You want our numbers first?
Either way, it doesn't matter. I'm easy tonight. Good numbers. We're raising them up a little bit at a time, every time. There's our platforms. You can catch us on YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, and Twitch. Or you can listen to us on iHeartRadio, Music Amazon, Twitter, Castbox, Apple Podcast, Stitcher, and of course, Spotify. Pardon me. There are our platforms. We're accessible everywhere. We hope you enjoyed the show tonight. We're right at about an hour. And, well, I can't think of anything else to say. Davey, have I missed anything?
No.
Now, Mandy is actually in Orlando tonight. She flew in on Saturday morning. We got to see her Saturday evening for our event. And I had breakfast with her, and she helped us wander the town trying to figure out where the heck can we get more fog juice, because we ran out unknowingly. And then she headed back to Orlando because she has a conference that she's at. So we may not see her at all. She's been very busy. But for now, you can catch us next week. It'll be in November now. That'll be the 4th. I might have to actually say the silly words, may the 4th be with you. Ladies and gentlemen, we thank you for watching the show. I apologize for our laid backness. We are just quite wore out. So enjoy your week. Happy Halloween. Please be safe. Parents, check the candy your children get. Do not let them just dig into it. Let's make sure that our children are safe and treated well. Upon that note, Davey, I think we can sign out.
Part of the podcast.
Part of the crew, always. We can't do it without you. Well, we can. It's just not as much fun. So, ladies and gentlemen, join us every Monday night at 8 p.m. on Captain's Quarters Podcast on the YouTube channel and see what other fun things we might pop up for you. Till next time, happy Halloween.
Time of history's embrace, Captain's Quarters sets the pace with Captain Mayhem at the helm. A voyage of knowledge, a story to round. Captain's Quarters weekly delight, where history's treasures take flight. Led by Mayhem, Longwood, and Joe, they explore the past, row by row. Navigator Longwood charts the course, guiding listeners to knowledge's source. Cartographer Joe with maps in hand unveils the secrets of time's grand. Captain's Quarters weekly delight, where history's treasures take flight. Led by Mayhem, Longwood, and Joe, they explore the past.